What's up, guys? Can you hear me? You guys hear me okay? Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me okay. Probably have Stephanie come in on speakerphone too. So if you guys can hear me okay, just put a, like I said, I'm new to this, so go easy on me. All right, there we go. Thank you, Meg. So I sent you guys the link on Twitter. They said they're gonna start streaming it live at 3:30. So hopefully it starts right at 3:30. I'm on the ABC 11 website as I'm talking to you guys as well. So we'll see if that works. Says it's gonna start streaming it. If you guys see it, if you're are any of you on the website as well that I sent? If you are, please let me know if you see something start to go live. Because like I said, I'm on here. I'm on the front page. For anyone who doesn't know, we're going to be watching the Faith Hedgepeth press conference. Full disclosure, I truly don't know what they're about to announce, but we will see. We will see what happens. I've been removed from the case other than talking. Thank you, Elizabeth. Other than talking to Roland, Faith's father, that's been my only connection to it. But Stephanie and I did cover it here on Crime Weekly. And Stephanie is dealing with her kids right now, but she's probably going to phone in. She's probably going to text. We're going to get her on speakerphone. I'm texting her now. But guys in the chat, let me know, like, if you see something pop up on ABC 11's website, maybe I got to refresh it, whatever it may be. Let me know. It says they're streaming it. Oh, it's live. Here we go. The stream, it'll begin in a moment. So again, this is Faith Hedgepeth. If you guys don't know the case, I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but this is a case that I covered on Breaking Homicide with Dr. Chris Mohandi, and I also covered it on Crime Weekly with Stephanie. And I have some suspicions about what I thought happened that night. So I'm really interested to see what they have to say today. It is supposedly being held at City Hall, which makes me think that it's going to be a decent announcement. I don't think that they would have people come out. I don't know who this is, so we're not going to answer that. I don't know why they would do this press conference unless it was something important. So we will see what happens. But right now, it looks like the stream's about to start very, very soon. Appreciate you guys coming out. Listen, I'm sitting in the office. I'm working. This is actually where I work. So you guys see the stream when you see this background when oh, here's Stephanie. Hey. Was that you calling me from that other number?
I don't think so.
Okay. There was another New York number that popped up. Okay. So say hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
So the press conference, guys, if you're watching along with me, I sent the link. It's on Twitter. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can post it in here. I probably can, but I don't know how. Let me see if I can pull it up on Twitter and then post the link in here for you guys. But the press conference does look like it's about to start. They just went live. So I'm going to try and post that link here if I can on.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on that ABC 11 link that I sent you. But I'm going to post the link here, right? I'm going to the link right now, guys, for you. Copy. No, that's that. Looks like they're getting ready here. So, Stephanie, I figured out what was wrong with why it wasn't working, why it wasn't detecting the camera.
Why?
Safari. Safari does it. As soon as I went into it, it was like, oh, your browser doesn't support it. Okay, guys. So I just put in the comments. I think I can pin it. Yep, I just pinned it. So if you guys want to watch with me, you can click that link. Okay, and that link. Let me know if it just pinned. I'm not seeing it now. Hopefully it did. Yep, it pinned. So if you click that link, you'll see that there's a podium set up right now. It's all right. Stephanie's in the background, so she's just you just put it on too, right, Steph?
Yeah, I'm putting it on, but I'm gonna Turn it down, obviously.
So they're testing. If they're testing, that means they're about to go. So if I had to guess, guys, and this is purely a guess on my part, based on my experience, it looks like the mayor is going to be part of this if it's in front of City Hall. I hate to say this, but politicians love good publicity. So my guess, and this is purely a guess, is that they have they have a big announcement. They have a big announcement because if it was something minor, I don't think they would be doing it in front of City Hall. So I'm really hoping, for the sake of Roland and the rest of their family, that there has been an arrest made. We will see.
Oh, they're getting all set up.
A lot of microphones. So, and again, the news usually has an inside scoop too. So they might know something we don't know. I did text Roland a little while ago. Yes, I did text Roland and say, my thoughts are with you and your family, and hope there's good news today. I don't want to bother him. I'm sure he knows what's going to happen, but he's not allowed to say anything, so I completely respect it. That's the thing. There's no Crime Weekly video for Faith Hedgepeth. We did that. Actually, is there stuff? No, there isn't. That was before.
There is.
We did we did YouTube video for Faith. We were already doing YouTube by then.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is. So you guys will have to go. You guys will. I don't remember.
Let me look.
I don't think we did. I don't think we did do a YouTube video for Faith. I think that was before we went on our own.
It definitely was not before we went on our own.
Maybe before we started YouTube. I don't know. Guys, if you're in the stream here, if you want to check for me, I can't remember if we did a YouTube video for that one. We definitely have an audio version.
That's crazy.
So Chelsea, thank you, Chelsea. She's saying that we did an audio, no video. But listen, if you want to go back and listen to the audio episode, you can. And Jesus. And it's also Breaking Homicides on Discovery ID as well. It's not as in depth as Stephanie and I went because it's only 40 minutes, but you can check that out as well. Let's see what happens here. And I'll let you guys know if it's not something huge. I'll try to read between the lines. Okay, so I just got nervous. I was like, wait, somebody's commented from Crime Weekly, but I'm assuming that's you, Stephanie.
Oh, am I on Crime Weekly right now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I got nervous. I said, "Oh shit, my first stream," and I got hacked. That's embarrassing.
So next time, I mean, we didn't really have a lot of preparation, but next time we can use Streamlabs.
Yes.
Go live if something like this happens, and we can actually put the video up on the screen.
Yes.
While we're talking about it and reacting to it, and actually, listen to it together. But this was kind of last minute.
It was spur of the moment. I was sitting in the office and I'm like, Stephanie, I'm gonna go live, and she was like, I got the kids, but call me.
Yeah. I was like, I got the kids. At least I'll be on the video. I'll be on your phone, and I can mute it if the dogs start barking or the kids come in and start asking me for things.
Right. Can you guys hear Stephanie okay? Just give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear Stephanie okay. I got the phone as close as I can to it. Obviously my mic's right here. Let me know if you can hear her okay.
Yeah.
Can't hear Stephanie. Okay, let me adjust here. I'm gonna.
There's a million ones.
Oh yeah, they can hear. So just one person. That means your headphones aren't plugged in, homie. Everyone else can hear us. Okay, great. They can hear you perfectly. So we're good there.
So I can't wait for part 2 of this Scott Peterson case either. Actually, our audio part 2 is going up tomorrow.
That's right.
Those of you who watched it in the video and you really want to get to part 2, I think it's one of our best episodes ever, honestly, part 2.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really, we dug deep and we really dove in. It's interesting because I'm hearing and seeing the comments for part 1 on YouTube, and a lot of the questions you're asking about Amber Fry, we answer all of them in part 2. So you'll get your your fill of Amber Fry in part 2.
Adjust your mic. I'm on my phone.
Okay, hold on. Let me try moving you closer then. Hold on.
No, there's nothing to adjust.
I'm gonna get creative here. Hold on. You can tell this was really last minute, but we wanted. I'm really excited about this. This is, all these cases. It was funny because Stephanie and I were talking about a different case that's in trial right now. All these cases are like my baby. Like I have a connection to all of them. And I really feel like I've done everything I can with this case. So I'm hoping that it pays off. I'm hoping that, everybody who's looked into this case, especially the investigators at the Chapel Hill Police Department, I'm hoping that we finally have some answers for the family, because that's horrible. It's horrible not knowing, and this is definitely a solvable case. Stephanie, can you say something now? I'm holding you on a tripod on my lap.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me better?
Okay, let's see if they can hear you now. I got you on full blast.
Full blast.
And then you're literally like a foot away from the mic, so I think you're good now. Again, guys, if you look, there's a link in my chat. If these things come up in the future, we'll definitely, like Stephanie said, we'll do a stream with like a software. We've done it before, but if you click the link, you can open up a new tab and you can watch along with Stephanie and I. We're watching the Faith Hedgepeth press conference. This was just announced today. It was kind of random. It's being presented in front of City Hall, which to me suggests there's a major break in the case. But we will see. We will see what they have to say. Oh, I think you just said 5 minutes. Okay. I highly doubt that there would do.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay.
Yeah, I think the mic's working, buddy. I highly doubt they would do this type of press conference for a case that's been so highly covered without having a major announcement. What that announcement is, I would hope it's an arrest. I would hope it's an arrest. If it were just a break in the DNA or something like that, they wouldn't be discussing that publicly because they wouldn't want the person to know. So whatever's taken place, I'm hoping we have an arrest. What do you think, Stephanie?
That's what I was kind of saying to you earlier. I can't imagine why they would call this press conference and give like a small detail,
right?
Especially since it's been so long since we've heard anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. It would be foolish. They're going to get a lot of kickback if they just come out to say, hey, we got a new development. We're following a new lead. That would be stupid.
Yeah, it's so funny going live because there's just a bunch of people that pop on that don't ever watch our channel. They just see that somebody's live and they pop in there, and then they're just trolls. So we love the trolls. It's so
you're reading the chat? I'm not even reading the chat, really. I'm looking at
reading the chat, man. It's hilarious.
Well, because
but most of you guys are just, great, but there's just some funny comments.
Stephanie, are we allowed to make like someone in here like a moderator? Can you do that on here?
You could, but it'd have to be somebody that you can trust, because they'd have access to your channel. They could block people. They could do things.
Oh, okay. We'll have to work on that. I'm not worried about the trolls, but
I'm moderating, and nobody said anything like crazy yet. They're just trying to be trolls. Trolls gonna be trolls.
I don't even want to know what they were saying. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care at this point. Listen, I only wanted to stream this because you're getting my reaction to it. This is a case that I've been involved in for a long time. Stephanie, did you know this case before I told you about it?
Yeah, remember I did something with ID.
Yes, you did. You did. You're right.
Thing.
Yep, you're right. You're right. You definitely did.
Yeah. So. Jeez. That's okay. It's just my son's friends FaceTiming me every 5 minutes.
We got to get them their own iCloud account. You can do that for your kids, right?
No, I don't want him to have his own iCloud account. I want to know every single thing that he's doing and every single person that's calling him.
I'll randomly call Stephanie, like I'll FaceTime her, and her daughter or son will pick up and be like, hey.
Because my Apple ID is on their tablet, so that I can see everything they're doing. So.
All right, I'm looking at the chats. If you got any questions, now's the time to ask a couple questions. We got 1,200 people in here, so any questions you have, the chat is moving very fast, but I'll try to answer a couple before the conference starts to kill some time. It's 10 minutes past when they said they were going to do it. I definitely think this is something big.
They want to break. A lot of people have been asking for like a quick breakdown of the case.
All right, so essentially, Faith Hedgepeth, college student, University of North Carolina. She went out with a friend to a nightclub in the downtown Chapel Hill area. She was at the club for a couple hours. Her and her roommate, Karina Rosario, were seen leaving the club on camera. I'm not going to say times right now because I don't want to get locked into something and be wrong. It was like 2:07, I believe. As I say, I'm not going to get locked in. I just said it. They go back. They leave the club. Allegedly, Karina and Faith get back to the room. Faith says she's going to go to sleep. She's not feeling well. The reason they left the club in the first place was because Karina said she wasn't feeling well. Allegedly, Karina Rosario leaves the apartment around 4 a.m. and gets back around 10 a.m. and finds Faith Hedgepeth dead in the apartment. She had been brutally murdered. And that's an overview. I'm literally giving you 35,000 feet. Anything you want to add, Stephanie? I mean, I don't have the specifics in front of me.
There was DNA found on her.
Correct. Allegedly. The police have never confirmed it, but then some people say they have. But yes.
We also have Karina, her roommate, who said they came home together, and then Karina left. She was sick and she was throwing up, and then Karina left, and she said she left the door unlocked behind her when
Correct.
she left. And the next day when Karina came back, she found Faith was murdered. And we played the 911 call as well on our episode. You're right. Now that I remember, it was before we went off on our own. So we played the 911 call.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right, guys. We're gonna be quiet for most of this. I want you guys to be able to hear it. A lot of people, though. A lot of people. So this is something. This is a major announcement. Oh, this is why Roland and his wife are right here. They're out here as well. This is Roland's. This is Faith's whole family. They have sheets too, so they're gonna probably speak as well. This is a major.
The fact that they're there is saying something.
Yep, it's a major announcement. They made an arrest.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Rand Northam. I'm the communications manager for the town of Chapel Hill. With me today to provide remarks are Chapel Hill Police Chief and Executive Director for Community Safety, Chris Blue, Assistant Chief of Police, Salisa Lehew, the parents of Faith Hedgepeth and family.
It's a tough name to say. I screw it up all the time.
Hedgepeth, State Bureau of Investigation Director Bob Schurmeyer, North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein, Durham County District Attorney Satana DeBerry, UNC Chapel Hill Chancellor Kevin Guskowitz, Chapel Hill Mayor Pam Heminger, Chapel Hill Town Manager Maurice Jones.
What you're looking at right there, that's Roland on the right, Connie on the left. Faith's husband and father and mother.
For the members of the media present, the names and positions of each person speaking today are listed on the program.
Connie's in the red shirt that says Justice for Faith. I believe that's her sister on the left.
Thank you, Rand.
Derek, in this article underneath, it says investigators collected a significant amount of DNA to see the crime.
There you go, yeah.
9 years and 9 days ago, tragedy struck this community, our community. Chapel Hill police officers responded to a heartbreaking scene, one where a promising young life had been ended way too early. I know it has been extremely difficult for Faith Hedgepeth's family, friends, and community as the days, the weeks, the months, and the years have passed to hear over and over that we had not yet made an arrest. And throughout this investigation, as the anniversary of Faith's death would come and go, we promised to protect important details about this case and our investigation and keep them close to the vest so that when the time was right, we could present a strong case to the district attorney's office.
Let me try to turn this up for you guys.
We asked you to trust us. We promised you that we would one day make an arrest. And today we can report that we're making good on that promise.
Good. I met Chief Blue, really nice guy.
They made
Through
an
the hard
arrest.
work of our team and our many remarkable partners, we stand here today to announce that we have a subject in custody for the murder of Faith Hedgepeth.
Yes.
As a father of two smart and vibrant young women myself, I cannot imagine the pain and heartache that Roland and Connie and all of Faith's family have felt every single day for the past 9 years. I want to thank you all
Hope they got a
for your
confession.
confidence in us and the excellent team that worked on this case. And thank you for your immense patience and grace. And to all the employees of the Chapel Hill Police Department, our guardians of the Hill, thank you for your unwavering efforts. To our agency partners, State Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, State Crime Lab, and so many others. Thank you for providing us with the necessary tools and the outside expertise when we called upon you. We are here today because of you. Now, I know we will all want more answers and information than we'll be able to provide you today. But patience will again be asked of you, as this story will take some time to completely unfold. Today's announcement marks the next phase of this investigation, and we will again commit to preserving the integrity of this case with everything we've got. Now I'll ask Assistant Police Chief Salisa Leahy to join me at the podium.
Salisa Leahy, she has been involved in this case since day one. She has been a huge advocate for Faith and also a really good partner with the parents. She's always been responsive.
Miguel Enrique Salguero of Olivares, age 28, of Durham. The arrest was made this morning without incident with the assistance of the State Bureau of Investigations. He's been charged with first-degree murder of Faith Danielle Hedgepeth on September 17, 2012.
Do you
She's
recognize his
currently in the
name?
Durham County Jail under no bond. We have fielded many interviews.
No,
from
this
the
has got to be the
media in the
DNA.
past 9 years about
This has got to be the
case.
guy they were trying to
In
identify.
each of those interviews, I have said that there is not a day that goes by that I don't think about Faith and how to help bring justice to Faith and her family. I wish I could have met her under much different
I believe
circumstances.
if I remember Miguel,
But
Miguel was an
so much
ex-boyfriend.
about Faith, her
Don't
life,
hold me to it, but I believe Miguel was an ex-boyfriend. Oh, the live feed just ended. The stream just ended on mistake.
Yeah, you're right. I think he was her ex-boyfriend.
I-
How do you spell his name?
I don't remember how to spell his last name, but I believe she had an ex-boyfriend named Miguel from who did not go to the school. He's an old ex-boyfriend. I definitely remember there being a Miguel. I hope if it's not the same Miguel, then that's on me. But I believe Miguel was an ex-boyfriend. Anyone saying it in the chat? My recollection is that she dated a Miguel from back home. So it's Aguirrez.
Yeah, I typed in his name and her name, and nothing's really.
No, I remember. I don't know if it was in our episode. I think Roland told me about a Miguel, but it's interesting because I don't know if he had any connection with her still. That's why I don't want to say 100% it's the ex-boyfriend Miguel, but the name of the suspect is Miguel and Aguirrez, I think they're saying. The last name doesn't sound familiar to me at all, but I'm assuming we will find out more down the road. But I would venture to say that this individual, his DNA came back matching the DNA profile that was put out by Parabon Industry. They didn't put out the actual DNA profile, but they put out a visual of what this person might look like based on the DNA makeup. My stream is gone. Let's see if it comes back. Oh yeah, Connie's talking.
But I just know that it was him. And I just thank the Chapel Hill Police Department, the SBI, anyone that had a hand in helping to investigate this case. I just thank them for all their hard work and their labor paid off. Just when I cried, it was tears of joy, tears of relief, knowing that someone had been arrested in her case. And I believe it's going to be hard the next months and years, maybe for this to be resolved. But
they're saying, Stephanie, people are saying Karina's ex. So here's the problem. Okay, here's the issue. Are you still with me, Steph?
Yeah, it doesn't mean she's not involved.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've always said that I still, even as I'm hearing this press conference, believe Karina knew more than she was telling police. This would make sense. This would make sense right here. Now, again, that's just the chat saying Karina's ex. We'll have to go and confirm that.
Will always remember her. And thank you so much for everything you all have done.
Now, yeah, Karina's ex, the one that I discussed in the show, is Eric Tacoy Jones. This is not Eric Tacoy Jones. Here's Roland. I've spent a lot of nights talking to Roland for hours. This is a great moment.
Why would Tina's ex-boyfriend kill Faith?
I don't have a lot to say. I do know that when Salisa called me today and told me they had made an arrest.
I'm so happy for him, man. I'm so happy for him.
I went right back to September 12th, 2012, and I couldn't function, I couldn't think. So I left work, went home, tried to get myself together to come here. But anyway, we're here, and it's been a long 9 years, 9 days, as you said. And first of all, I want to thank God for this day that He allowed me to stay alive and to see this day. Of course, I know this is not, the case is not solved. This is not the end. This is just the beginning.
Right.
And but I want to thank God for that. I want to thank Chapel Hill Police Department and all the agencies that assisted them up to this point for their diligence on this case. Okay, and I want to thank all our friends and family who support us these 9 years. And again, thank you. Okay, it's an honor to be faced dead.
Good for you, Roland.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Schermeyer with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, and it's my privilege to represent the hardworking men and women that worked on this case day and night. This has been an emotional journey for the family, for Chapel Hill PD, and so for many others, including our agents who never gave up on this case. They worked day and night, day and night. They would question things. They'd wake up in the middle of the night. They chased leads that turned up to be nothing. But they didn't give up. They were determined, and they pursued justice in this case until the very end. I talked with one of our agents that's been on almost 20 years just this morning. He was part of the arrest team. And he told me, he said, this has been an incredible case for me. He said, I cannot believe that we're finally here and that the public actually pays me to do this job because it's so rewarding to him to bring justice in a case like this, that he was just amazed. And he's not a very emotional guy, but he got very emotional. This has been a journey for us and for Chapel Hill PD and for the many others. I want to acknowledge the Crime Lab, who has been an incredible partner of ours in this case and many others. I call the director often for favors to get a particular case put to the top of the list because we have breaking needs for it. And she's never denied me. And to the Attorney General and the DA, who will now pursue justice in this matter. I'd like to acknowledge the agents who have worked on this case through the years because they've been solid partners of Chapel Hill.
We'll talk about, we'll digest it and talk about it when they're finished.
Because this case, although an arrest has been made, this case is far from over. We're pursuing leads and ensuring that justice will be done.
Oh, pursuing leads. I'll dive into that. Don't let me forget.
Men and women of this agency work day and night, not only on this case, but many others, to pursue justice on behalf of the citizens of this state. Assistant Director Lynn Gay is here. Also, Special Agent in Charge Mike Denning is here representing the Bureau, and I'm grateful for their leadership in this case. So we're grateful this day has come. We're sad for the family and their loss, but a message should be clear that the men and women of the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation stand strong and will pursue justice wherever it takes us. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
I'm North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein, and I want to start with a message to the family and friends of Faith Hedgepeth. I am so profoundly sorry for your loss. Faith was a bright, friendly, beautiful young woman whose life was full of promise and tragically and brutally cut short. While we understand that nothing can fill the holes in your hearts, we hope that knowing that a suspect has been arrested and is off the street reassures you that we are one step closer to justice for Faith. Sometimes justice is swift, other times it takes longer. Today, after 9 years and a week, an arrest has been made in the murder of Faith Hedgepeth. Today's important announcement proves the power of partnership, persistence, and the potency of DNA.
So there we go. They linked him. They linked him through DNA.
Congratulations to you and your team. I remember seeing an interview with Chief Blue a few years ago in which he said he was 100% certain that an arrest would be made in Faith's case.
LaHaye, who said that too.
I'm grateful for his confidence and the dedication of him and his department. Police detectives and SBI agents conducted thousands of interviews and spent countless hours in this case, never giving up, always fighting for Faith and her family. I thank every member of law enforcement who worked this case. I'd also like to thank my team at the State Crime Lab. I'm joined here with Director Vanessa Martinucci of the Crime Lab. Vanessa, her predecessor, John Bird, and the scientists who are dedicated have worked closely with law enforcement on this case. Erin Ermish was our lead forensic biology analyst, but she was not alone. 12 other analysts also worked this case. Over the years, they worked 53 submissions of evidence from the case and analyzed 229 different samples to rule out suspects. And yesterday, with a sample provided by law enforcement of the suspect, the State Crime Lab generated a match to a DNA profile created or derived from the original crime scene. As a result, an arrest nearly a decade in the making has been made. This case underscores the importance of DNA. That's why we are working hard to test the thousands of untested sexual assault kits in local law enforcement custody across North Carolina. I appreciate the legislature for passing the Survivor Act in 2019 and for putting in its current proposed budget an additional $9 million.
I'm going to put this, he's politicizing it, which
kits for testing.
Yeah.
Given the dramatic increase in DNA submissions to the State Crime Lab, however,
this is a good thing that he's promoting.
Additional 12 scientists to do the kind of important work that led to the arrest here today. I urge the legislature to fund these positions to keep
Stephanie, are you there?
safe. Once again,
I think you're on mute, Stephanie.
Chief Blue and the Chapel Hill Police Department.
What do you think about that last part? Obviously, it's needed, but do you think it's the time or place to do that?
And the State Crime Lab.
What do you think? The last part about them having the legislator. I guess it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be initially.
And their families, that we will fight to deliver justice for you. To the public, that we will do everything in our power to keep you safe. And to the murderers and rapists, no matter how long ago you committed your crime, we will never stop coming for you. Thank you.
Remind me to talk about that guy when we get done.
Good afternoon. I'm Satana DeBerry.
What'd you guys think of that guy in the chat?
Because my office will be prosecuting this case before I begin my remarks, I have to say that ethical rules require me to tell you that I cannot tell you anything about the case, and that all defendants are presumed innocent until adjudicated guilty. Today, we're thinking about Faith's family, her Warren County community, her Hiawassee community, and her UNC community. I can only imagine how difficult it must have been to lose Faith.
Not the time. Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying not the time.
And then to spend the next 9 years, almost to the day, not knowing what happened.
A little mix. Some people are saying it's okay. But I felt like he has another, he's using this to push his own agenda.
And all the agencies present here to say that we are committed to getting you the answers and I think one reason Faith's passing hit this community so hard is that she was such a bright and promising young woman. Her potential and her dreams of becoming a pediatrician and serving her community were cut short. And the only way we got to know her was through this tragic incident. Her case also brings home the devastating reality of violence against Indigenous women. In some communities, they face murder rates 10 times higher than the national average. Too often, these cases and these women do not get the attention they deserve. As my friend Chief Blue has said before, Faith's case never went cold.
I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Worked every angle
when
and
we're
used
done.
every tool at their disposal to get us where we are today. While prosecutors are not usually involved in cases before they get charged, the Durham DA's office has been in contact with Chapel Hill police as they have continued to collect evidence, and we've worked collaboratively with law enforcement to support their efforts to identify the person responsible. I want to thank the Chapel Hill Police Department, Faith's family, and everyone who refused to give up on this case. We have a long court process ahead. The Durham's DA's office will continue to work hard to find the truth and to keep Faith's memory alive.
Well said. Well said. See, that's how it's done. I like her.
I'm Kevin Guskowicz, the Chancellor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and it's good to be with you on this difficult but important day for our community, for this university, and most importantly, for Faith's family. And from the beginning, we've been by your side, and I'm glad that we can be here today.
They're not really nodding their heads too much.
Tragic day.
Yo, we've been by your side, right? We've been by your side.
Our murder shook our community 9 years and 9 days ago, and we continue to feel the impact of her incredible spirit on our campus today. I'm grateful to the community partners for never giving up, to the Chapel Hill
Guys, I put the link into the chat. If you don't want to hear me talk, go click the link, get out of the room. That's it. I mean, that's the whole point of the stream. It's a live link. It's free to watch. Go click the link. You don't have to stay. I have no problem. I won't be offended.
Okay, Daddy Derek. Jeez.
Right? I mean, come on. Don't talk.
Found that the better metaphor is that grief comes in waves. We've lived with this reality, and then a wave hits, and we're right back to the overwhelming sadness and heartbreak. Today feels like another wave, an important moment, but still a feeling of deep sadness all over again. Roland, Connie, and all of Faith's family and friends, we are here for you. Carolina is a different place because of Faith. Her commitment to her fellow students, our American Indian community, and her Palawa Saponi tribal roots is felt by so many today. Faith was and continues to be a Tar Heel, and we will never forget her. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
I want to hear from her family. I really don't care about any of these people, to be honest. Leahy did a lot of work on this. Chief Blue did a lot of work on it.
As a mother of 4 children myself, I couldn't even imagine the feelings that you had this morning when you got the phone call. I know the feeling I had was of a sigh of relief, but also the pain again of what had tragically happened to Faith in our community. Our hearts go out.
If you didn't know who she was, she's wearing her name tag. Do you see that, Stephanie?
Yep.
Is that her or is she promoting the mayor? Please tell me that's her.
I think that's her.
We will not forget her lovely smile.
In case you didn't know who she is.
And want you to know that her life mattered. Over the past 9 years and 9 days, a great many people have contributed to keeping her story alive.
Yeah, that's the mayor. Yeah.
Okay, well, so in case you guys are wondering, it's Pam Heminger.
Thousands of hours dedicated people have poured into this case, and we're deeply grateful to everyone who had a part. The officers, the investigators, the community members, the reporters, the family, and the friends. They continued to search for an answer and never gave up. Today, with Faith in our mind, we also want to assure Carolina parents that we know you entrust us with the safety of your students, when they come to Chapel Hill.
So are they not going to give
We
us
take
any
that
specific?
responsibility
about-
very seriously.
No, for the most part, this is just a pat on their own backs. The best part was hearing from Connie and Roland.
And doing everything they can do to be the guardians of the hill. And on another note, Faith knew you loved her. She loves you, and she wishes you peace through this journey as you find the answers. And she will see you someday.
Roland's like, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maurice Jones, Chapel Hill Town Manager, and I just wanted to take a moment to extend my condolences to Faith's family, who has demonstrated.
All right, I'll let you guys decide. Do we want to discuss what we learned, or do we want to hear the rest of this? So, one, if you want to hear the rest of the press conference. Two, if you want to stop it and just kind of dissect what we, because they're not going to tell us anything else. This is just like a lot of people trying to be involved. One, if you want to stop it and just talk about it. Two, if you want to continue to listen. I think I screwed that up. I think I screwed up the number.
No, which one is one or two now?
I don't-
There's so many twos, and I don't know what they signify.
All right, let's do it again. I apologize. Three, if you want to listen to the rest of the press conference. Four, if you want to stop and talk about it. Don't let me forget, Stephanie. Four, if you want to stop and talk about it. Three, if you want to listen to the rest. My bad.
I think we get a lot of fours.
Okay, I'm going to stop this because this is just a lot of like, we did a great job. We're amazing. Okay.
They did.
They did do a great job. Do you mind if I start?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So first, let me say great job to everyone involved. Chapel Hill PD, the SBI, FBI, everyone who has been involved with this case from day one for having the perseverance to keep going, even though they've done DNA samples on a lot of different people, and they're not lying. You know, I got to meet Chief Blue and Lieutenant Leahy in person. They're actually, what they're saying is true. They really did put in the time. And like I said during the stream, Leahy has always been accessible to Roland and Connie. Anytime they called, anytime they texted, she immediately answered them. And that's not usually the case, or not always the case. Just to clarify what I said, I think about who's the DA. I didn't have a problem with what he said. What he was saying, I completely agree with. Stephanie and I have said we want to start a fund for this. We need to have all these rape kits that have not been tested because there are suspects in those cases that can be connected to other cases as well. And it's going to get more bad guys off the street. Maybe I just didn't like him, to be honest. It might be me. I don't think he was as bad as I initially said. It's not necessarily political. He's trying to use this example as an example of what can be done with good testing and more staffing. So I do rescind what I said slightly. Maybe I just didn't like him because I felt like he probably didn't even know the case too much before this, but he has something that he's pushing for, which is something good. So I do understand why he did it. The other people, you know, this is just my opinion. I'm not speaking for Stephanie. My personal experience, I've had a lot of politicians who don't know anything about these cases, but when they're solved or something comes of it, they want to make sure they have their 5 minutes to get up there and show that they were in charge when that happened. Just my opinion. But final thoughts, I'm extremely happy for the family. I'm interested to hear more about this individual. Again, his name is Miguel Enrique Salguero Olivares. He's 28 from Durham. Initially, I remember a couple ex-boyfriends that we had looked into for Faith. There were also some ex-boyfriends for Karina. A couple of you guys have said in the chat that you believe this is an ex-boyfriend of Karina. When it comes to Karina, I'm going to be interested to hear what happens. I know I said you remind me in the chat. They said they still have more leads they're working. Clearly, they matched this individual through DNA. I don't know if he's given a full confession yet, or he's saying, nope, you got the wrong guy. I just had sex with her. The biggest question that I have, again, goes back to, we know that this individual was not with them when they left the club. We saw Faith and Karina leave together. And we know that Karina, according to her, left at 4. So this individual had to come somewhere in between there, or he came after Karina left the apartment at 4 a.m. Really going to be interested to see how that works out, because my hunch would be that he probably came before. But it's also possible that maybe Faith hit him up after Karina had left at 4 a.m. I don't know. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it unfolds. Stephanie, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm looking him up in like software that tells you like criminal records and stuff, but it's going to take a while to go through everybody in here. So, you know, maybe we'll have something else to report if he has a criminal record or he has an arrest record. But just because he's being arrested, that doesn't mean somebody else wasn't involved. In fact, I would argue that this kind of crime, with the letter left behind and, you know, certain things about the crime scene, would suggest that more than one person was involved. So that's why they say that they're continuing to investigate. Hopefully, if they have him in, you know, custody at this point, they may offer him something in return for the name of whoever he collaborated with or whoever helped him do this.
Get away with it. Yep.
Yeah, so they'll say, you know, you can give us the name of this person, and you know, we'll go easy on you or whatever. Maybe he'll just come out and be like, I wasn't alone. This wasn't just me. But either way, I don't think he was alone. I don't think he did this alone. What do you think?
I mean, he could have done it alone. I just don't see how.
Well, I don't even know who he is, and I'm sure that. Okay, so I don't think she texted him that night, because don't you think that at that point the police would have looked at who she texted, and that would have been one of the first people that they like compared the DNA to, or they like looked into his alibi? If she had reached out to him or spoken to him that night, they would have already had him, in my opinion. And you know, just my opinion, okay, allegedly, I'm not saying anything, don't come for me, but Karina's got something to do with this. Just my personal opinion, okay? She has something to do with this. She left the door open. She may, I don't know if she was there when it happened, but she may have helped set it up. Like, the police are going to have to look into her communications in the days and the hours leading up to Faith's death to see if she had any communication with this guy, or who he had communication with. Was he one of the friends of Karina's ex-boyfriend? Because remember, we talked about how Eric Takoy Jones had friends over that weekend from out of town. But then again, this Miguel guy seems to be from Durham. Maybe he was at the club. Maybe he followed them home. Maybe he didn't talk to them at the club, or he tried talking to them and they were like, get the hell out of here, we don't want your drinks, and he followed them home. And you know, but then he's gonna wait for Karina to leave. It's just a lot of unknowns here.
Yeah, no, I agree. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't disagree with anything you said. You know, my issue with Karina was always, you know, the time frame and the fact that she left the door unlocked. You know, there's another scenario. Did she leave the door unlocked because someone was in there with Faith when she left? Could Miguel have already been there and she knew he was there? That's, I guess, a possibility. It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. It looks like it's very early on. It looks like this came together. I saw something in the chat. This isn't confirmed, but it appears that Miguel's DNA was obtained during a DUI arrest last year in August, maybe they're saying. I just saw that in the chat. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's true, that's how this happens, right? They didn't have his DNA before, possibly. Once his DNA was obtained and entered into CODIS, they got a hit. So that's very possible. But
you're going to have a hard time convincing me that this was just a random attack, because why would a random attacker feel comfortable going into this random apartment? Hold on, the dogs are barking. The random apartment, knowing that, you know, Faith was alone. I just have a hard time believing that it was random. So there's some connection here. We just have to figure out what it is.
Yeah. Oh, and we're going to listen, now that we know the name, I'm going to be making some calls. I'm going to make some calls for sure. And I can run them too as well. And we'll look into it and see what we can learn about him. But there's definitely, I agree with you. I don't think this was a random act of violence, because this person, even if they saw, because a couple people said it in the chat, you know, even if they saw Karina not lock the door, which I've been to the apartment complex, it's dark back there. And if Karina had left the apartment, she would have seen this person standing out there, because it's like in the back of the apartment complex itself. You're not back there unless you're supposed to be back there. So, this person to go in there, you know, you could say, oh, maybe it was a robbery gone wrong, but then why would there be DNA? I mean, that's very, I don't think that's the case. I agree with Stephanie. I think there's more to this story. Either he was in the apartment when Karina left, or Faith had contacted him beforehand. But you would think that if that were the case, if there was a phone conversation between Faith and this individual, or even Karina and this individual, whether it was through phone or text, he would have been one of their top guys that they would have went and interviewed and asked for his DNA, right?
And do you remember what that note said? The note that was written on the bag, something like
Yeah.
"I'm not stupid" or something like that.
I'm not stupid, jealous bitch, yeah, or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so there has to be some sort of like previous connection, previous relationship, and even some sort of conversation, right?
Yeah, even some conversation, but I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting because it does appear that the scene could have been altered slightly, you know, before they left, and to maybe throw law enforcement off the trail. So you got to ask yourself, did Miguel do this alone or did he have help? Um, Fascinating, really fascinating. And this is why, you know, this is why we have a process. And, you know, just to talk in generality, you know, there have been people who've said, you know, it's Eric DeCoy Jones or it's, you know, other guys they've mentioned. You know, it looks like it wasn't. It looks like it wasn't. Now,
or they just don't have enough proof to say anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah, it's going to be interesting. There, I agree with you though, Stephanie. There is a connection. I think we're going to find out that this individual had a tie to either Karina or someone in Faith's circle. Maybe they met up at the club. Maybe we're going to learn that. Make the calls, Derek. Oh yeah, make the calls. She's saying make the calls. Yeah, I'm gonna make some calls as soon as I get off this. But I would say we're gonna find out when this actually goes to trial that there's a connection here where they were able to tie Miguel to Faith through someone. Maybe it was at the club earlier in the evening. That's possible as well. A lot running through my head right now. I'm just happy. I'm happy for the family because now that they have the guy who matches the DNA, and we said this on the episode, Stephanie, once they find that guy, the dominoes will start to fall because if there were other people involved, he's probably going to roll on him, especially if they're going to give him some type of, I wouldn't say a deal. He's not getting a deal, but they'll work out something. And if there were other people involved that helped this individual get away with it, or at least knew he was there and never said anything, never cooperated with police and divulged what happened, or who was in that apartment or who was supposed to be coming over, they're going to have problems as well. This is just the tip of the iceberg. That's why I found it was interesting that they said we're following leads. This is far from over. We're also following leads. That to me means they're still trying to find out what happened.
And he's 28. So how old
Yep.
does that make him when this happened?
9 years ago, he was 21 years old.
Yeah, right around college age. Was he a student at the college? Like, these are questions we still need to figure out. And, you know, we're going to do some digging. And once we have, you know, the time to do it, it probably won't be that difficult to get a little bit more information on him. Oh, for sure. And I'm sure I'll talk to Roland later today. Obviously, I won't be able to share any of that with you guys, but final thoughts from me. Why do you even say it then, Derek? Yeah, well, I mean, I gotta respect the family and obviously the case. But my final thoughts are just I'm really happy for the family. You don't always have these cases get solved this soon. You'd always wish they were sooner, but I'm really happy for Connie and I'm really happy for Roland and the rest of their family. And you know, Roland, when you saw him in the press conference, that's exactly how he is. He's a thinker. He's very composed when he speaks, but when he says something, it's usually something you want to listen to because he doesn't throw a lot of fluff in there. He gets right to the point. And a couple people are saying Enrique was on the voicemail. The hang up. So the butt dial. So you know, when we had Arlo West on, he never mentioned an Enrique or a Miguel. He mentioned Eric. Right? There was no mention of an Enrique or Miguel. They're maybe saying that maybe that's the voice that was on there, which is possible. Hold on, let me look at something. Yeah. What's his middle name? His name is Miguel Enrique Salguero Olivares. And I don't know if I have the spelling right. I was kind of writing it down as they were saying it. Yeah, that's true. Tahani just said, you know, Eric is close to Enrique. Right? I mean, I guess, but they're different names. Yeah, and again, I couldn't know, so that he's even less than that. He'd be about 20 years old, 19 years old. Yeah, he'd be right around college age, honestly. I mean, yeah. I'm looking in the redacted case files, and I'm just gonna kind of do a search and see if there's any names that pop up. No.
Yeah, the guys are saying they're saying that they were saying that it froze for a minute there. So, what I was saying is that it's possible maybe Enrique was at the club. If he's 28 now, 10 years ago, he would have been obviously 18, 19 years old. Very young. Could he have been at the club with them that night? And maybe they made plans to meet up afterwards? We'll find out. We will find out for sure. People are saying that my stream's buffering, so I don't know what's going on.
All right, well, let's call it a day and
Yes.
then do some more research.
Yes, let's do some research, guys. Again, great job to Chapel Hill
Do it
PD.
too. You know, guys, go out there, find out. We're stronger together. This is a hive mind. Type in his name, try a bunch of different things, see if you can find anything. Send us whatever you find.
Absolutely. And we'll do a follow-up. Maybe we'll just do a stream on it. I don't know. I don't think it'll be another episode, but maybe just a stream. Okay, sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us for this. This was, as an investigator, this is what you hope for. So we'll see what happens from here. And we'll keep you guys in the loop and make sure you send us whatever you find. Well, I'm ending the stream now. Hopefully I don't screw this up. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.